the most extreme eastern point of the continental U.S., where Maine ends and New Brunswick, Canada begins, this is the Bay of Fundy, a place of wild beauty, a wealth of history, sometimes shrouded in fog. The Bay of Fundy, a coastline painted with hundreds of little coves, harbors, a gunk hauler's dream. Welcome to the continuing travels of JaySeaDee, an island packet 485 based out of Rhode Island. On this journey, JaySeaDee and his crew of 4 will join a flotilla sponsored by Points East magazine. This flotilla includes 26 other boats and their crews. There are 16 sailboats and 10 power boats ranging from 38 feet to 52 feet. JaySeaDee will leave its home base in Rhode Island and sail up to Northeast Harbor, Maine, where we will join the flotilla and then voyage through the Bay of Fundy, arriving at St. John, New Brunswick, where we will transit the famous Reversing Falls. We then plan to spend about a week upriver, going as far north as Gagetown, and ultimately we will return back through the Reversing Falls to St. Andrews, New Brunswick, and back to Northeast Harbor, Maine, the entire voyage taking 14 days. But first we have to prepare JaySeaDee for this 3 to 4 week voyage. We will clean the boat and we will inspect all the systems on the boat, the standing rigging and the running rigging. And importantly, we'll check our ground tackle. And one of the things we did before we left was we inspected the shackles and we pulled out all our chain and we marked the chain in 25-foot increments so we know where to load the anchor. We also checked the engine and the bilge and all of the systems that are on the boat. We also do a thorough review of our safety equipment, checking fire extinguishers, our air horn for signaling in the fog. We put all of our electronics in a aluminum case for lightning protection. Our flares are checked. We have a ditch bag that has all sorts of items in there for survival for a period of time. We have a EPIR beacon which we can deploy if we have to go into the water in our life raft. And most importantly, we get our clothing ready for the colder weather in Maine. After arriving in Northeast Harbor, Maine, we enjoyed a thorough briefing by the flotilla organizer. At this briefing, he reviews places of interest, the entire itinerary, goes over charts, and he answers any questions that the crews may have concerning fuel and anchorages and water and replenishment of groceries, etc. The first leg of the trip will take us from Northeast Harbor to Cutler, Maine. JaySeaDee has decided to take a detour to Machias Seal Island, one of 3 known islands where the nesting of the Atlantic puffin may occur. We arrived there in dense fog and had a hard time seeing any of the birds. But we did find our way through the fog back to Cutler, Maine, where we met up with the rest of the flotilla and enjoyed a lobster dinner hosted by the local United Methodist Church. Day 2 takes us from Cutler, Maine to North Head, Grand Manan. Good morning. One of the things you have to do along the way is if you enter a foreign country, and we're going to be entering Canada today, is we have to hoist a Canadian courtesy flag, which we'll put up on our starboard side, and we'll put this as we cross into their waters, and then when we enter port we will fly the Q flag until we clear customs, which should be a pretty easy thing to do today. Here's a typical morning.
Oh no, don't take my hair like this. Please don't take my hair like this.
And we're up and we're having coffee and getting ready to make some, we're making some breakfast, making the bacon. My wife Joey an admiral is making breakfast for us all. Bacon with blueberry pancakes.
Oh, yum.
Doesn't that sound delicious? So you can see here we are cruising along here, and it's pretty flat seas, but alright, here we are entering the north head at Grand Manan in Canada. We're on autopilot right now, just following in a couple boats from the Flotilla. See if we can. There's one of them, and pan over a little bit and see the other one. So we're just cruising along here, doing about 8 knots, or fighting a little bit of a current, about 1.5 knot current coming around the island here, so it's slowing us down a little bit, but we got to round this point up here, and then we'll pull into the harbor and check into customs. One thing that's kind of interesting is this boat here, he puts out quite a bit of steam out of his diesel, and the other boats don't do that, so I don't know whether he's got water in his fuel, or perhaps he is overheating due to a clogged intake strainer. These are old traditional fish traps used for catching salmon and herring. Prior to arrival at a dock or a marina or even an anchorage, I find it useful to spend a little bit of time planning and talking about the execution of our docking and arrival, and that includes calling ahead and finding out what direction you're going to be tying up, which way your boat's going to be facing, and then you can explain to the crew what fenders you need outside the boat, where they need to be located, which dock lines need to be prepared and ready to be tied up or heaved to someone waiting on shore. And we find this really helps avoid a lot of confusion and anxiety and panic during the process. And especially when you have 40,000 pounds of boat and crew heading into a new place, it can save a lot of headaches and avoid a lot of mistakes. So for you guys out there, if you want to save your marriage, take some of this advice to heart, and you'll be a lot better for it. This is what they call the berthing area. It's a little marina that's inside these sea walls, and you can see that the tide level is significant from the marks on the walls there.
We'll wait for you. Yeah.
And you gotta climb up and down this nice long ramp here.
I think, let's see.
This is where we entered in over here.
Might be a low tide, I'm not sure.